Imagine your mind is a glass of water. Right now, it might feel like someone dumped garden soil into it and shook it like a maraca. You're trying to see through the murkiness, chasing deadlines, dodging drama, but it's exhausting. It's like driving with a mud-covered windshield. We usually try to fix this by shaking the glass harder, thinking, if I just think about this problem more intensely, I'll relax. Spoiler alert, that never works. If you're ready to stop shaking the glass and finally let the dirt settle, tap the like button. Consider it your first deep breath of the day. Today's story isn't a lecture. It's a simple journey taken by a master and an impatient student walking through the heat. It's a story about an ox cart, a stream, and the incredibly difficult art of doing absolutely nothing. So, put your phone on Do Not Disturb, the emails can wait, and let's walk down this road together. Our story begins on a day hot enough to fry an egg on a sidewalk, if sidewalks had been invented yet. We find two travelers, an old, wise master and his young, eager, and incredibly stressed-out student. They had been walking for hours. The student, let's call him Leo, was carrying the heavy bags, but his heaviest burden wasn't the luggage, it was his mind. Leo was a chronic overthinker. You know the type. While his feet were walking on the dirt road, his mind was running a marathon 3 weeks in the future. He was worrying about what they would eat for dinner, whether he locked the front door of a house he hadn't lived in for 2 years, and why the master hadn't said a word in 3 hours. "Master," Leo finally huffed, wiping sweat from his forehead. "Are we there yet? And by there, I mean anywhere with shade, cold water, and perhaps a soft pillow." The master simply smiled, kept his steady pace, and pointed to a large banyan tree in the distance. "Soon," he whispered. If you've ever felt like Leo, rushing toward a destination while missing the journey entirely, drop a yes in the comments. It's okay. We're all Leos sometimes. They finally reached the tree. It was near a beautiful, flowing stream. The water looked cool and inviting. They crossed the stream to get to the tree, their feet disturbing the mud on the riverbed, kicking up silt and dead leaves. Once they settled under the shade, the master let out a long, contented sigh. Leo, however, immediately started unpacking, organizing, and checking his mental checklist. "Leo," the master said softly, "I am thirsty. Please go back to the stream we just crossed and bring me some water." Leo looked at his comfortable spot, then at the hot sun, then at the master. He wanted to say, "You want me to walk back there?" But he was a good student, so he grabbed the brass pot and walked back to the stream. When he arrived, disaster had struck, or at least what Leo considered a disaster. A farmer had just crossed the stream with a cart pulled by 2 massive oxen. The wheels had churned up the bottom. The oxen, feeling the heat, had decided to have a little splash party. The crystal clear water was now a brown, swirling mess of mud, decaying leaves, and, well, let's just say, natural elements. Leo stared at the water in disbelief. "Are you kidding me?" he muttered to himself. "I can't bring this to the master. He asked for water, not a mud smoothie." He stomped back to the tree, empty-handed. "Master," Leo said, panting, "the water is ruined. An ox cart went through. It's filthy. We should pack up and walk to the river 5 miles ahead. I know I'm tired and my legs feel like jelly, but we have to go. We have to do something." The master opened one eye. "No, Leo, we do not go forward. Go back to the stream. Get the water." Leo blinked. Was this a test? Was the master suffering from heat stroke? "But master," Leo argued, trying to be logical, "it is muddy. It is undrinkable. If you drink that, you might attain enlightenment, or you might just get a stomachache." The master smiled. "Go back." Reluctantly, Leo turned around. He walked back to the stream, grumbling the entire way. He was furious, not just at the water, but at the situation. Why did things always go wrong? Why was life so difficult? Why did oxen have to have bad timing? He reached the stream. It was still muddy. The debris was still swirling. Leo stood there, gripping the brass pot. He felt an urge to jump in and try to push the mud down with his hands, to force the water to be clean. He wanted to fix it. He paced back and forth on the bank, agitated. If I just scoop it from the top really fast, he thought. He tried, but the mud came with it. He poured it out. Ugh! He sat down on a rock, defeated. He couldn't fix the water. He couldn't leave. He was stuck. And then something interesting happened. Since he had no other orders, and he couldn't return empty-handed again, Leo just sat. He stopped pacing. He stopped trying to filter the water with his hands. He stopped cursing the oxen. He just watched the water. This is a crucial moment. If you are with me so far, tap the like button. Let's see what happens when we stop fighting the current. 5 minutes passed. The heavy mud, no longer being stirred by Leo's frustration or the oxen's hooves, began to sink. Gravity was doing its work. 10 minutes passed. The lighter silt began to drift to the bottom. 20 minutes passed. The dead leaves floated away downstream. Leo watched this process, mesmerized. He didn't do anything. He didn't help the water. He didn't pray to the water. He didn't yell at the water. He simply gave the water the one thing it needed: space and time. As the mud settled, the water regained its transparency. The sun overhead shone down, and suddenly, the surface of the stream became a mirror. Leo looked down and saw his own reflection. He looked tired, yes, sweaty, sure, but he also saw the blue sky behind him and the branches of the trees. The water was clean. It hadn't changed its nature. It had simply returned to its natural state because the disturbance had ceased. Leo carefully dipped the brass pot into the clear water. He filled it to the brim with cool, refreshing liquid. He walked back to the banyan tree, but this time he didn't stomp. He walked slowly. He held the pot with both hands, careful not to spill a drop, but more importantly, careful not to shake it up again. He handed the pot to the master. The master took a long drink, wiped his mouth, and looked at Leo with eyes that held the depth of the ocean. "Look at the water, Leo," the master said. "What did you do to clean it?" "I did nothing, master," Leo admitted. "I just waited. I let it be." The master nodded. "Exactly. Your mind is just like that water, Leo. When it is agitated, confused, and filled with the mud of worry and the silt of stress, you cannot see clearly. You pace, you argue, you try to fix your thoughts by thinking more thoughts. You try to push the mud down with your hands, but you only stir it up more." Leo sat down, the realization hitting him harder than the heat. "You do not need to exert effort to calm your mind," the master continued. "You do not need to force peace. Peace is the natural state of the water. Clarity is the natural state of your mind. All you have to do is wait. Give it a little time. Let the debris settle on its own. Do not jump into the river of your thoughts and thrash around. Sit on the bank. Watch them. And soon, just like this water, your mind will return to its clear, transparent nature." Leo looked at the empty pot, then at the stream in the distance. He realized he had spent his whole life trying to filter the ocean with a teaspoon, when all he ever needed to do was be still. So, here we are. You don't need a brass pot to understand this. Maybe just a pile of laundry that won't quit. Next time you feel that frantic urge to fix your anxiety, remember Leo. Stop stirring. Just step back, take a breath, and trust the process. The mud belongs at the bottom. Your clarity belongs at the top. It will return if you just give it space. If you found a moment of peace here, share this with someone who might be churning their own muddy river right now. Be good to yourself. Let it settle. And I'll see you in the next story.